EquiP is very excited to have partnered with AskYourTeam. We spent quite a few months surveying the market to understand which tools were available, which tools had already been developed and tried in the sector. And when we began the conversation with AskYourTeam, we realised that the work AskYourTeam had done in understanding and pulling together the key levers, the key areas of organisational focus. They've packaged these areas of organisational success drivers and woven them into the tool that we think is the best available to help council engage with their staff and give answers to these key organisational drivers. You see these 12 drivers behind me as we speak, and these drivers are well known in organisational circles. They're well known and proven in the private sector and in the public sector. AskYourTeam have tested and woven these in to the central government sector to align with their leadership programmes. And EquiP has worked intensively with AskYourTeam to weave these assertions, these 12 key areas of organisational focus, very specifically for the local government New Zealand sector. So the key proposition which AskYourTeam brings, which we're very excited to partner with and promote, is getting a sense and asking the organisation, your senior leadership team and your CEO to assess for themselves or to set a parameter around how they view the organisation. We ask them to set a parameter of 100 to give us a benchmarking comparison between councils around some key areas of these 12 drivers. And then that gives us a sense of how staff themselves will rate and will view their performance across these 12 drivers of success. And the net result of this engagement in a very brief and easy to use method is council leaders have a very clear understanding of how council staff measure their own performance in these 12 areas and therefore where the opportunities for improvement in these 12 critical areas of organisational improvement lie. Leadership then has a triangulation, a method of viewing their own state, their own expectations of these 12 areas against their staff and against their senior leadership team. And those gaps become fruitful areas of exploration and improvement. And a key and unique proposition which AskYourTeam brings is the ability to give the organisation a snapshot in time through a quick and reasonably painless process, but then powerfully to retest, to test again how the organisation is viewing these 12 drivers of success after the council can work with EquiP, work with your own strengths as an organisation to focus and apply resources to move the dial in the areas of improvement which AskYourTeam has identified. And we suggest councils can do this to hone in each of these 12 areas and the ones that are most critical to your own leadership, your own organisational strategy and vision. Focus in on those areas which your council team and your CEO, senior leadership team decide are critical areas for improvement, and then test again to see if the dial is moving, to see if there are areas where you begin to demonstrate to yourself accurate organisational learning and improvements in processes, improvements in all of those areas you see behind me, which can meaningfully translate into improvements in your internal effectiveness and efficiency. And for us at EquiP, what's most exciting is how they can transfer across to external customer improvements, external perceptions of council performance, which taken as a package, we have a firm and highly optimistic view that this can help councils on their journey of excellence. So how does AskYourTeam and the Local Government Excellence Programme work together? As you may be aware, the Local Government Excellence Programme is quadranted into 4 key areas. you're aware of them, they are behind me. And what underpins excellence, the assumptions which underpin organisational excellence that we have taken and responded to the perceptions and to the analysis that the local government reputation research did with Colmar Brunton, we've woven those in and tailored Ask Your Team to target those 12 key drivers which underpin and support excellence in customer delivery around these 4 quadrants. We haven't taken it in too much detail so that the underpinning processes are applicable to all team members, but the core drivers, those 12 core drivers of organisational performance, will enhance and support the improvement programmes on those core 4 areas of local government excellence. And we believe quite powerfully that with Ask Your Team and with EquiP support to get the specialist assistance that you may be requiring to go deeper into each of those areas of specialism, Ask Your Team gives us a very powerful organisation-wide snapshot, and then EquiP can support you to dig deeper into each area of functional specialism which you require to move the dial of your own council's performance. And with the Ask Your Team benchmarking, which we do on a safe and confidential basis to help you gauge where you sit relative to other councils in the Ask Your Team data bank, we also then use the Excellence Programme and your ratings in the Excellence Programme, either pre-rating or post-rating, to help you get an external view, an external measure of your journey of improvement. And Ask Your Team and the Excellence Programme, as you see behind me, are complementary. In fact, we believe that the core processes which Ask Your Team have identified and distilled from their understanding of management literature, and pulling those elements and drivers of organisational success into this toolkit is quite unique in the market, which is why EquiP fully promotes and supports Ask Your Team to enable your council on its journey of organisational learning, on its journey of organisational improvement, and on its journey of excellence. So is Ask Your Team a generic plugin which every council asks and answers the same questions across the sector? Partially, yes. That gives us the ability to track each council's scores and, with their permission, share those scores where they feel comfortable, both with themselves and with other councils, to get a gauge of complementary experience and customer service. But it also allows each council to choose 5 open questions, up to 5 open questions, which align with your own council's current programmes of excellence, of organisational improvement or performance development, which you either have underway or you have planned to be underway through this process. Now, these 5 open questions can give you some very rich pickings in terms of getting staff insight into some key questions, and we have provided you with a template. Again, you see them behind me, of some open questions which we have trialled and tested in prior councils who have run the Ask Your Team process. And they can be simple questions, and a classic is, if you could change one thing about working here, what would it be? Simple open-ended questions that allow respondents to give a rich insight and to provide some rich feedback through their engagement. And one of the key features and benefits of Ask Your Team is staff confidentiality. Our tuning of the Ask Your Team method and system gives us utter confidence that your staff can have their information confidentially protected by ensuring that no group smaller than 5 has the ability to have their answers understood. So we keep the Ask Your Team groups to 5 as a requirement of protecting confidentiality within those teams. And where there are councils, and many of our rural council customers fall into the space, we look to bundle teams into 5 to give that engagement opportunity. or where there are very specific circumstances and councils require this and we work with them to protect confidentiality, we can ensure that councils can tune the method to fit your own context and your own organisational structure and shape and journey. So how do we work together, and what support does EquiP offer through the process? Again, you see it behind me, and the process that we engage with you is to make sure all the way through, from the beginning introduction through to the supporting your HR team, to make sure that the resources that you have are in place, that your information for your staff members who are going to take the survey is available and setting you up for success, through to the deployment of staff technology to allow them to access the engagement survey. We provide pre-communication material that can be clearly messaged from your CEO to lead the engagement of AskYourTeam and drive them through the process, through to the survey itself to make sure that staff are engaged in any areas of suboptimal engagement. We can really get in there and support your team leaders to bring your staff along, to give you the best benchmarking opportunity we can to ensure that your staff engagement on this survey is as high as we can get, and then very quickly turning that around to some very powerful results that can be communicated in confidence to your CEO, senior leadership team, executive group, to give you a sense of where you are and critically where to from here, before on to the next steps around your systems and support and what low-hanging fruit is really available for you to start to tune your interventions, your own council interventions, EquiP support around shaping the interventions of those to make sure you have the best tools and support you can to see the dial change, to understand on those key 12 areas of activity which ones are critical for you, which ones should be the primary focus, that you can give comfort to yourself as a leadership group and to council at the governance level that your journey of improvement is active, it's measured, it's demonstrable, and more importantly, that you have the ability to track your own internally benchmarked performance, both with yourself as an organisation and sharing learnings with other councils who may be dealing with similar opportunities for improvement, that they can share their insights of what does success look like, how does improvement occur in their own focused area of leadership and engagement on organisational improvement. So taken together, we genuinely are on a sector-led journey of learning and of improving success. So AskYourTeam is a powerful toolkit in EquiP's offering to assist council at governance level and at the leadership and organisational level to continue to deliver service, to deliver value to their customers and communities and citizens, and build that level of trust in the community, that elected members are exercising their due diligence at the council level to support an increased perception of service, value and trust to the ratepayer, that we hope will, taken together, help move the dial on that reputation research which has underpinned the excellence programme and underpins much of EquiP's work. So we want to support you as a council to deliver value and excellence to your respective customers and to your community. And our aim and hope is that the community's experience of your council's services continues to improve, continues to be demonstrated in powerful ways. And how this translates back to staff is actually give staff comfort that their views, that their inputs, that their perceptions of both how they currently service the community and their own internal tools against those 12 key drivers of organisational success, where they see them now and where they want to see them in the future. And AskYourTeam has beautifully woven in some of the best management thinking, some of the best leadership practice, not just literature, not just theory, but the best leadership tools internationally and in New Zealand around how organisations respond when they listen to their own staff as their own customers. In effect, when those staff feel listened to and engaged with and have their views understood and woven into the leadership story of their own organisation, we know quite powerfully the motivational effect that it can have on staff and their own connection to their own council as an employer, and the meaningful intrinsic value that those staff have of the value of the services that they deliver, either at the customer facing end or at the support end of the organisation, that they see themselves as part of that journey of delivering value to their community, which keeps them connected, keeps them engaged in their organisational journey, and really helps them on their own professional journey of upskilling and delivering increasing value. And we think that's a powerful proposition. We know from our own Comar Brunton research how important this is. We know how this may be important to you in your own journey of excellence, and we're here to make sure we can give you the tools you require to deliver excellence to your communities. We wish you well with this journey of Ask Your Team and with EquiP, and we look forward to helping you to define success for your own community, bringing you the best learnings and insights we can from other councils and from the knowledge that we are accruing as we help councils on this journey of excellence.